I owe everything to George Bailey. Please help him, dear Father.
Oh, dear Jesus, please help my friend, George Bailey.
Help my son George tonight.
He never thinks about himself, God. That's why he's in trouble.
George is a good guy. Give him a break, God.
I love him, dear Lord. Watch over him tonight.
Please, God, something's the matter with Daddy. Please bring Daddy back.
Hello, Joseph. Trouble? Looks like we'll have to send someone down. A lot of people are asking for help for a man named George Bailey.
Tonight's his big night. We'll have to send someone down immediately.
Well, that's why I came to see you, sir. It's Clarence's turn again.
Still hasn't got his wings, has he? You just passed him on up right along.
Because you know, sir, he's got the IQ of a rabbit.
Yes, but he's got the faith of a child. Simple. Joseph, send for Clarence.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes, Clarence. A man down on Earth needs our help.
Splendid. Is he sick?
No, worse, discouraged. A man with no hope. At exactly 10:45 p.m. Earth time, that man will seriously be thinking about throwing away God's greatest gift.
Oh, dear, dear, his life. Well, I only have an hour to dress. What are they wearing down there now?
You will spend that hour getting acquainted with George Bailey.
Sir, if I should accomplish this mission, well, might I perhaps win my wings? I've been waiting over 200 years, sir, and people are beginning to talk.
Clarence, if you do a good job with George Bailey, you'll get your wings.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Poor George. Sit down, Clarence.
Sit down? What are...
If you're going to help a man, you want to know something about him, don't you?
Oh, well, naturally, of course.
Well, keep your eyes open. I'm going to take you back to 1928, Clarence. See the town?
Well, where? I don't see anything.
Oh, I forgot. You haven't got your wings yet. Now look, I'll help you out. Concentrate. Begin to see something?
Yes, this is amazing.
If you ever get your wings, you'll see all by yourself.
Really see something. Now, what a pretty little town.
Clarence, you are now in Bedford Falls.
We're standing straight and tall.
But we're standing straight and tall. You are now in Bedford Falls. It's not like New York City, but our children have a ball. Chicago or St. Paul. It's a wonderful life in Bedford Falls.
Avast there, Captain Cook. You got your sea legs yet?
Parlez-vous français? Hey, George, send us some of those picture postcards, will you?
Hey, George, don't take any plug nickels.
George, are you sure you have to go away for so long? We're really going to miss you here in Bedford Falls.
George, no matter how far you travel, there's nowhere else like Bedford Falls. You'll see.
I'm going crazy in Bedford Falls. In all the years I've been here, no, it hasn't changed at all. I bid farewell to Bedford Falls. I've got to cross the ocean before I climb the wall and say good riddance to Bedford Falls.
There's lots of things to do here.
And lots of things to see.
But I've already done them all. There's not enough for me.
are now in Bedford Falls. It's not like New York City.
You can say that again.
It's not like New York City. It's a wonderful life. It's a wonderful life in Bedford Falls. Bedford
Wait, why'd they stop?
I want you to take a good look at that face.
Who is it?
George Bailey.
Is he my man?
Yes, that's your man.
It's a good face. I like it. I hope I'll like George Bailey.
Oh, you will.
But why does he want to get out of this pretty little town? Everyone seems so nice.
Wait and see.
Oh, no. Now look, Joe, I want a big one. A big, see? I don't want one for one night. I want something for 1,001 nights with plenty of room for labels from Italy and Baghdad, Samarkand. You know, a great big one.
I see a flying carpet, huh? I don't suppose you like this old second-hand one, would you?
Now you're talking. Well, gee whiz, I could use this as a raft in case the boat sunk. How much does it cost?
No charge.
Oh, that's my trick here, Joe. It sounded as if you said no charge.
That's right.
And what's my name doing on it?
A little present from old man Gower. Came down and picked it out himself.
He did? Well, what do you know about that? My old boss from the drugstore.
Say, George, it looks like you got the bag I got for you.
Mr. Gower, thank you ever so much. It's just exactly what I wanted.
That's the least I could do after all you've done for me, George.
Well, it's wonderful.
Hey, George, I see you got your bag. Where do you go, huh?
Italy, baby.
Italy, France, Spain, you name it.
Oh, George, if you go to Italy, you have to see my mother.
Oh, not before he see my mother first.
Oh, I'm probably going to be moving so fast that I won't have time to see either one of them.
You're not moving too fast right now.
We gotta get moving if we're gonna make it home for dinner before the graduation dance tonight.
Mom, look at the new suitcase Mr. Gower bought for me.
It's perfect.
I'm ready to go to Europe.
Yeah, but first we gotta get ready for the dance. Come on, George.
Harry, I told you I wasn't sure if I was going to the dance. Well, all those little kids.
You mean little kids like me, George Bailey?
Well, hello, Violet. That's some dress you got there.
Oh, this old thing? I only wear this when I don't care what I look like. Well, maybe I'll see you at the dance tonight with all the other little kids.
Mamma mia!
Please don't hit me.
I hit you some more. You don't like me hit you. I
Bert,
hit you.
isn't there a law against looking like that in, broad daylight?
Well, if there's not, there ought to be.
Oh.
George, I'm so glad I found you. Your father was wondering if you knew where this week's deposit slips were. Mr. Potter's asking to see them. You know, he's on the board now.
Well, sure I know where they are. I gave him to Uncle Billy like always.
That's what I was afraid of. Well, Billy, I guess we'll have to keep looking until we find them.
Sure we will. I bet they're in the same place as last week's, wherever those are. Say, George, have you seen those, by the way?
Oh, Billy.
All right. I just thought George would like to help out old Bailey building it low. One last time before his big trip, for old time's sake.
Uncle Billy, you'll be just fine. Well, Harry here's going to take good care of you. I figure he'll have that office working so smooth that you and Dad will soon forget about old George Bailey.
Now, George, I know Harry will do a good job. He's smart. But we can never forget about you. Bedford Falls won't be the same without you. Just think of all the things you have done.
That's right, Uncle Billy. When I was only 9 years old, I fell into the ice. The water was so dark and cold, but George did not think twice. He jumped right in there after me and saved his brother's life. Now that's George Bailey to me. Don't you remember, George? When I had made a huge mistake with poison from the shelf, I sent it out as medicine. I could blame no one else. Why this great boy confronted me and saved me from myself. Now that's George Bailey to me. That's George Bailey. That's George Bailey.
A very handsome boy.
That's George Bailey. That's George Bailey.
He's all that this town needs. I'll tell you what I think of George Bailey. His father is an imbecile, a failure of a man who thinks it is his special task to lend a helping hand. An obstacle, a do-gooder who's foiling all my plans. Now that's George Bailey to me.
That's enough out of you, Potter. George Bailey's been my closest friend since he was just a lad. I'm proud to be his uncle. He is so much like his dad. For all his life I've loved him like a son I never had. Now that's George Bailey to me.
That's George Bailey, a man that you can trust. That's George Bailey, we're proud he's one of us. That's George Bailey, who's there to shake his hand. That's George Bailey.
I'll never understand.
That's George Bailey, he'll always treat you right. That's George Bailey, his future looks so bright. That's George Bailey, who serves us faithfully. That's George Bailey. That's George Bailey. That's George Bailey.
Everyone sure seems to like George.
Oh, yes, he's a likable fellow. A good man.
Except, who's that man in the wheelchair? Ebenezer Scrooge?
Henry Potter, the richest and meanest man in the town.
What's he got against George Bailey?
He's jealous. You see, George is a hero to these people.
Well, of course he is. Look at all he's done. He jumped into the ice to save his brother Harry from drowning.
Yes, that's how he lost his hearing in his left ear. He caught a bad cold and his ear was infected.
Yes, and he stopped Mr. Gower from sending out poison as medicine by mistake.
Right again, Clarence. Well, if you keep this up, you might just win your wings.
I hope so. But what about George? What about his trip? Did he ever leave Bedford Falls? Where did he go?
Wait and see, Clarence. There's still a lot more to learn about George Bailey.
George, Harry, come down to dinner this minute. You know
Okay, Mom.
You know we've been waiting on you and everything's getting cold.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. My last meal at the Old Bailey boarding house.
Harry?
No time to eat, Mom. I'll get something at the dance. Hey, Pop, can I have the car? I've got to take over some plates and things.
What plates?
Oh, Mom, I'm chairman of the Eats Committee, and we only need a couple dozen.
No, Harry, they're not my best. Haviland?
Oh, let him have the plates, Mother.
Well, have a good trip, George. Uncle Billy and we're sure gonna miss you.
Well, I'm gonna miss you too, Pop. What's the matter? You're looking tired.
Oh, I had another tussle with Potter today.
Oh?
You know, you put him on the board of directors. I thought he'd ease up on us a little bit.
Well, I wonder what's eating at that old money-grubbing buzzard anyway.
Well, he's sick, son, and frustrated. Sick in his mind, sick in his soul. He had one. Hates anybody who has something that he doesn't have. Hates us mostly, I guess.
Gangway, gangway. So long, Pop.
So long, son.
Harry, go ahead and put those things in the car and I'll get your tie and studs together.
Okay, Mom. You coming later? You coming later, George?
What do you mean, to be bored to death?
Lots of pretty girls.
Now, no gin tonight, son.
Oh, come on, Pop. Just a little.
Not one single drop. Boys, girls, music. Why do they need gin?
Well, did I act like that when I graduated high school, Pop?
Pretty much. You know, George, We sure wish we could send Harry off to college with you. Your mother and I were up half the night talking about it.
We have that all figured out. You see, Harry's going to take my job at the building and loan. He'll work there for 4 years, and then he's going to go.
Well, he's kind of young for that job.
Well, no younger than I was.
Maybe you were just born older, George.
Well, how's that?
I said maybe you were just born older.
Yeah.
I suppose you already know what you're going to do after you get out of college.
Well, you know what I've always talked about? Build things. Plan modern cities, design new buildings, all that stuff I was talking about.
Sell after your first million before you're 30, huh?
I'll settle for half of that in cash.
Well, I know it's just a hope, but you wouldn't consider coming back to the building and loan, would you?
Well, Mother, pull up a chair. That way you'll be more comfortable and you can hear everything that's going on.
Well, I don't mind if I do.
I know it's soon to talk about it.
Well, I couldn't, Pop. I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in a shabby little office. Oh, I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that remark. But this business of nickels and dimes and spending your whole life trying to figure out how to save 3 cents on a length of pipe, well, I would go crazy. I want to do something big and something important.
Son, in our shabby little office, I feel in a small way we are doing something important. We're fulfilling a fundamental urge. It's deep within the race of a man to want his own roof and walls, and we're helping him to get those things. A roof and a fireplace, a porch and a swing, a white picket fence, a doorbell to ring.
A small cozy kitchen, a bedroom or two, a garden to tend with a view. You don't need a castle to feel like a king. You just need a place to call your own. To gather together on each Christmas Eve and thank God that you're not alone. You just need a place to call home.
Son, you've got a lot of talent. I've seen it. You go get your education. But just remember, you've always got a place to call home.
Pop, you're the biggest man in town. You know that.
A wonderful family, my children, my wife. Our love makes it all a wonderful life.
Your place at the table,
Your face at the door.
these memories we share, I could not want more.
You don't
Need a castle to feel like a king.
You
Just need a place to call your own. To gather together on each Christmas Eve and thank God that you're not alone. You just need a place to call home.
Love you, son.
Oh, why, Sam Wainwright, you have been acting like that ever since we were little kids.
Acting like what? Like a donkey, of course.
I thought after 4 years of college, you'd be all grown up. But I see you're just the same old Sam.
Yee-haw.
Harry, do you think George is coming to the dance tonight?
Well, I think I just about had him talked into it before I left. He's been really busy getting ready for his trip to Europe and all.
Well, I hope he comes. I really like George.
Yeah? Mom says you like all the boys.
What's wrong with that?
Hey, here comes George. Hello.
Hee-haw!
Hee-haw! Sam Wainwright.
Well, when did you get here?
This afternoon. Thought I'd give the kids a treat.
Old college graduate now, huh?
Yeah, old Joe College Wainwright, they call me. Well, freshman, looks like you're gonna make it after all.
Yep, I'm finally getting out of this place.
Now, Harry, you're the guy I really want to see. Coach has heard all about you.
He has?
Yeah. He's followed every game and his mouth is watering. He wanted me to find out if you're gonna come along with us.
Well, I gotta make some dough first.
You better make it fast. We need good hens like you, not broken down ones like this one.
Hee-haw!
Hee-haw!
Hey, George.
Well, hello, Violet.
Would you like to dance with me?
Well, I don't.
Oh, come on, Georgie, porgy.
What?
Hey, George,
Hey, you Marty? Well, it's old home week.
do me a favor, will you, George?
What's that?
Will you remember my kid sister Mary?
Yeah.
Mama wants you, Marty. Mama wants you, Marty.
Yeah.
Dance with her, will you?
Me? Well, I feel funny enough already with all these kids.
Oh, come on. Just be a sport. Dance with her once. You'll give her the thrill of her life.
Go on.
Hey, sis.
Well, excuse me, Violet.
Oh, but I asked first.
Don't worry, Violet. I'll stand in for Georgie Porgy.
Hee-haw! Marty, don't be long. I don't want to be a babysitter for your...
Will you remember George? This is Mary. Well, I'll be seeing you.
Well, hello.
Hello. You look at me as if you don't know me.
Well, I don't.
You pass me on the street every day.
Me?
Uh-huh.
That was a little girl named Mary Hatch. That wasn't you.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. It's time for the big Charleston contest. The prize? A genuine loving cup. Those not tapped on the shoulder will remain on the floor.
I'm not very good at this.
Well, neither am I.
Well, what do you say we get out of here?
Okay, where do you want to go?
I don't care anywhere.
Would you like to dance with me? Would you take a chance with me? Find a new romance with me? Would you be my girl?
Would you like to dance with me? Change your circumstance with me? Be footloose and fancy free? Would you be my girl?
We could do the Charleston or the jitterbug. And when you're not looking, I might steal a hug.
And a kiss. Would you like to dance with me? Share a secret glance with me? Board a boat to France with me? Let's go for a whirl.
If you'll pardon this advance, I'd simply like to ask for chance. Would you like to dance with me? Would you like to dance with me? Would you take a chance with me? Find a new romance with me? Would you be my girl? Would you like to dance with me? Change your circumstance with me? Be loose and fancy free? Would you be my girl? We could do the Charleston or the jitterbug. And when you're not looking, I might steal a hug.
Would you like to dance with me? Share a secret glance with me? On a boat to France with me? Let's go for a whirl.
If you'll pardon this advance, I'd simply like to ask for chance. Would you like to dance with me? Would you like to dance with me? Come on, everybody, it's time for the contest.
chance. I'd simply like to ask for chance. Would you like to dance with me? Would you like to dance with me?
Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight?
Can't you come out tonight? Can't you come out tonight? Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight? And dance by the light of the moon. Hot dog, just like an organ.
Beautiful.
You look wonderful. You know, if it wasn't me talking, I would say you were the prettiest girl in town.
Well, why don't you?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I will. Well, how old are you anyway?
18.
18? Well, only last year you were 17.
Too young or too old?
Oh, no, just right. Your age fits you. You know what? I think I'll throw a rock at the old Granville house.
Oh, no, don't. I love that old place.
Oh, no, you see, you make a wish and you try and break some glass, but you had to be a pretty good shot nowadays.
George, don't. That place is full of romance. I'd like to live there one day.
In that place?
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't live in it as a ghost. Now look, right on the second floor there.
What'd you wish for, George?
Well, not just one wish, a whole hatful, Mary. Well, I know what I'm doing tomorrow and the next day and the next year and the year after that. Well, I'm going to shake the dust of this crummy little town off my feet and I'm going to see the world. Italy and Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. And then I'm going to come back here and go to college and find out what they know. And then I'm going to build things. I'm going to build airfields. I'm going to build skyscrapers 100 stories high. I'm going to build bridges a mile long. And well, what? Are you going to throw a rock? Hey, that was pretty good. What'd you wish for, Mary?
Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight?
Can't you come out tonight? Can't you come out tonight? Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight? And dance by the light of the moon. What'd you wish for when you threw that rock?
Oh, no.
Oh, come on, tell me.
If I told you, it might not come true.
What is it you want, Mary? What do you want? Well, do you want the moon? You just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around and pull it down for you. Well, hey, that's a pretty good idea. I'll give you the moon, Mary.
I'll take it. And then what?
Well, and then you can swallow it. And it would all dissolve, you see. And the moonbeams, they come out of your fingers and your toes and the ends of your hair. If you want the moon, I'll give it to you. Or maybe bright stars or planets, I'll lasso those too. Just tell me your wish, and I'll tell you mine. You will see in time, I'll give you the moon. If you want the moon, come fly there with me. We'll see the whole world together, just like royalty. A king and a queen will travel in style, then rest for a while and gaze at the moon.
Bailey, you are some talker.
Oh, it's not just talk, Mary.
I know.
What do you want, Mary? What is it you want?
If you want the moon, then look in the sky. It's already brightly shining in front of your eyes. Sometimes a wish is really a prayer. The answer is there, right under the moon.
If you want the moon, then open your heart.
George, come quick. Your father has had a stroke.
Mary, I'm sorry. I've got to go.
George?
What
I'm
happened?
sorry, George.
Did you call a doctor?
Oh, God, watch over him tonight.
George Bailey, don't stop dreaming. Life is wonderful. You see, my thoughts go with you now. I send my love and pray Godspeed. For I believe some way, somehow, that you will marry me. You are my destiny. My George Bailey, I've loved you all my life. My George Bailey, one day I'll be your wife. My George Bailey, now all my dreams come true. Sharing my life with you. George Bailey, I'll love you till the day that I die.
Well, I guess that's all we'll need of you, George. I know you're anxious to make a train.
I have a taxi waiting.
I want the board to know that George gave up a trip to Europe to stay here and help us straighten things out over the past few months. Good luck to you at school, George.
Thanks.
Now, on to the real purpose of our meeting, to appoint a successor to our friend, Peter Bailey.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to come to my real purpose. I contend that this institution is not necessary to this town. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to dissolve this institution and to turn its assets and liabilities over to the receiver.
You hear what that buzzer said?
It is too soon after the death of Peter Bailey to discuss chloroforming the building and loan.
Peter Bailey died 3 months ago. I second Mr. Potter's motion.
Very well, very well. I'll ask the two executive officers to withdraw. Before you go, I think the whole board would like to express our deep sorrow at the passing of Peter Bailey. It was his faith and dedication that's responsible for this organization.
Well, thank y'all very much.
I'll go further than that. I'll say that to the public, Peter Bailey was the building and loan.
Oh, that's fine coming from you, Potter, considering you're the one that probably put him in his grave.
Peter Bailey was not a businessman. That's what killed him. Oh, I don't mean him any disrespect. God rest his soul. He was a man of high ideals, so-called, but ideals without common sense can ruin this town. Take, for instance, this loan here to Ernie Bishop. You know, that fellow that sits around all day on his brains in his taxi. I happen to know the bank turned down this loan, but he comes here, and we're building him a house worth $5,000. Why?
I handled that, Mr. Potter. You have all the papers right there. His salary, insurance. I can personally vouch for his character.
A friend of yours?
Yes, sir.
You see, if you shoot pool with some employee here, you can come and borrow money. What does that get us? A discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class. Now, I say...
Now, wait just a minute, Mr. Potter. Now, hold on. You were right when you said my father was no businessman. I know that. Why he ever started this cheap penny-ante building and loan, I'll never know, but neither you nor anyone else can say anything against his character. In the 25 years since he and Uncle Billy started this thing, he never once thought of himself. Isn't that right, Uncle Billy? He didn't save enough money to send Harry to college, let alone me. But he did help a few people get out of your slums, Mr. Potter. What's wrong with that? You're all businessmen here. Doesn't it make them better citizens? Doesn't it make them better customers? Yeah. What did you say just a minute ago? That they ought to have to wait and save their money before they even ought to think of a decent home? Wait? Well, wait for what? Until their children grow up and leave them? Until they're so old and broken down that they... Do you know how long it takes a working man to save $5,000? Just remember this, Mr. Potter, that this rabble you're talking about, they're the ones that do most of the working and the paying and the living and the dying in this community. Was it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him. But to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're just cattle. In my book, he died a much richer man than you will ever be.
I'm not interested in your book. I'm talking about the building and loan.
I know very well what you're talking about. You're talking about something you can't get your fingers on and it's galling you. That's what you're talking about. I know. Well, I've said too much. You're the board here. You do what you want with this thing. Just one thing more, though. This town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can come without crawling to Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy.
Sentimental hogwash. Now, I want my motion moved on at this time.
Boy, oh boy, you told him, oh George, oh boy, you really shut his big mouth. You should have heard him in there.
What happened? I heard a lot of yelling.
Well, we've been voted out of business after 25 years. Easy come, easy go. I can get another job. I'm only 55.
60. Here it is. Help wanted, female.
George, look, you've got to get in with me on this plastics business.
Sam, what are you talking about?
I've got a big deal coming up that's going to make us all rich. George, you remember that time you told me you read in that magazine about making plastics out of soybeans?
Yeah, plastics.
Well, Dad snapped the idea up. He's going to build a factory outside Rochester. How do you like that?
Rochester? Well, why Rochester?
Well, why not? Can you think of anything better?
Well, I don't know. Well, why not right here? You remember the old Tool and Machinery Works? Well, you tell your father he can have that for a song, and all the labor he wants too. Well, half the town lost their jobs when they closed down.
That's so. Yeah. Hey, I'll tell him. I mean, that sounds great. Buddy, I knew you'd come through. Now listen, have you got any money?
Money? Well, yeah. I mean, no, Sam, but I'm going off to college and I can't...
George, I'm telling you, this thing is going to be bigger than radio, and you can get in on the ground floor. This is the chance of a lifetime. Don't miss the moment, my friend. The moment's now, it's the right time to make a break for it, just for the sake of yourself. You've got the talent and the style. Oh yes, I see you even got the smile. George, don't miss it. It's business, it's plastics, it's new. This is the chance of a lifetime, but the choice is up to you.
George, go on. You gotta get out of here. You'll miss your train. You're already a week late for school. Go on.
George, go on. You gave up your trip. You don't want to miss college too, do you?
This is the chance of a lifetime, the one you've dreamed of so long. The moment's now, it's the right time to use your mind, love. Don't be some kind of a fool. You've got the brains, you're more than smart. I know it's beating deep inside your heart. So don't miss it. It's college, it's honest, it's true. This is the chance of a lifetime, but the choice is up to you.
Wainwright and Bailey, imagine the name. Imagine the money, imagine the fame.
Imagine your father, I know what he'd say. A Bailey in college, don't throw it away. The chance of a lifetime does not come along every day. No, not every day.
George, they voted Potter down. They want to keep it going. They've got one condition, only one condition. They've appointed George here as executive secretary to take over for his father.
Oh no.
I'm going to college.
Oh no, George. This is the chance of a lifetime. Don't let this moment pass by.
Don't let this moment pass you by.
The moment's now, it's the right time. We'll both be millionaires, and all the shares will be ours.
But what about your hopes and dreams?
Don't fall for someone else's selfish schemes.
George, don't
miss it. It's simple.
It's easy.
For who?
This is the chance of a lifetime.
This is the chance of a lifetime.
This is the chance of a lifetime. But the choice is up to you.
But I know. He didn't go.
That's right. Not only that, but he gave his school money to his brother Harry and sent him to college. Harry became a football star, made second team All-American.
Poor George. He just can't seem to get a break. What happened to him?
George got 4 years older, waiting for Harry to come back and take over the building and loan.
What, so George never made it to college at all?
No, he sacrificed that dream and sent his brother instead. George was waiting for Harry to come back to Bedford Falls so that he could travel the world, find an exciting job, and make his fortune. But when Harry arrived home, he had a surprise for everyone.
Oh boy, I love surprises. What was it?
While he was away at college, Harry got married to a lovely girl named Ruth.
Ah, young love. But what about George? Does he ever fall in love? Does he ever get married? What about that girl with the moonbeam shooting out of her hair?
Watch and see, Clarence. You've got to pay close attention if you want to win those wings.
You know, Harry Bailey, I might forgive you one day for running off and getting engaged and married without telling me first. But you know, it certainly helps that you have such a beautiful bride.
Oh, Mrs. Bailey, that's very sweet of you, but I still think I got the best part of the deal.
Oh, I don't know about that. I still can't believe a pretty girl like you married this two-headed brother of mine. How did he ever talk you into it?
Well, it was purely mercenary. My father offered him a job.
Yes, but I didn't say that I would definitely take it.
What?
So, he gets you and a job too. Well, Harry's cup runneth over.
Ruth, this... Oh, what about this?
George, please, I wanted to talk to you about it
It's
first,
all right, Harry. I'm just curious.
Well, my father owns a glass factory in Buffalo. He wants to get Harry started in the research business.
Well, is it a good job?
Oh, yes. Not much money, but a good future. Harry's a genius at research. My father fell in love with him.
And you did too.
I did.
Well, that's just great.
Hey, Uncle Billy, why don't you take Harry and Ruth inside and help them get their bags put away? And then maybe you could take them for a tour around town if Ruth would enjoy that.
Oh, I'd love to. Harry says Bedford Falls is so quaint.
You can say that again.
George.
Come on, Harry, let's show this newest family member around. Where's my hat? Where's my hat? Oh, thank you, George, thank you. You get the bags, Harry. I'll escort the bride.
That's for nothing. So how do you like her?
Well, she's swell.
I think she can probably keep Harry on his toes.
Keep him out of Bedford Falls, anyway.
George. Hey, you know Mary Hatch is back from school.
Mm-hmm.
She's been back 3 days. Really nice girl, Mary. You know, she's the kind of girl that could help you find all the answers. Stop grunting at me. So give me one good reason why you shouldn't just go and call on her.
Sure, Sam Wainwright. Sam's crazy about Mary.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
Well, how do you know that? Did she discuss it with you?
Well, no.
Well, how do you know that then?
Well, I have eyes, don't I? George, she lights up like a firefly whenever you're around.
Oh.
And besides, Sam Wainwright's off in New York, and you're here in Bedford Falls.
Don't remind me.
So why don't you just go see her?
Mother, you know I can see right through you, right to the back of your back collar button. Are you trying to get rid of me?
Yes.
All right, Mother, old building and loan pal. guess I'll go out and find myself a girl and do a little passionate necking.
George.
Now, if you'll just point me in the right direction.
Honey, you know the way.
Good night, Mrs. Bailey.
Good night, George.
What are you doing, picketing?
Oh, hello, Mary. Oh, no, I was just passing by.
So I've noticed. Have you made up your mind?
How's that?
Have you made up your mind?
About what?
Well, about coming in. Your mother phoned and said that you were coming to pay me a visit.
My mother called you? Well, how did she know?
Well, didn't you tell her?
No, I didn't tell anybody. I just went out for a walk and happened to be passing by.
Well, would you like to come in?
Well, I'll come in for a minute. But you know, I didn't tell anybody I was coming over here. When did you get back?
Tuesday.
Well, where'd you get that dress?
You like it?
Well, it's all right. I thought you'd go back to New York like Sam and Angie and all the rest of them.
Oh, well, I worked there for a couple of vacations, but I don't know, I guess I got homesick.
For Bedford Falls?
Well, yes, and my family and, well, everything. So do you want to come in?
All right, I'll come in for a minute. But I don't understand it, though. You know, I didn't tell anybody I was coming over here.
Well, would you rather leave?
No, I don't want to be rude.
Then sit down.
Oh, see, it still smells like pine needles in here. Well, I'll be going.
It's nice about your brother Harry and Ruth, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, don't you like her?
Well, of course I like her. She's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage you're not that enthusiastic about, is that it?
No, marriage is all right for Harry and Marty and Sam and you.
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What do you want?
Well, I don't know. What do you want?
Me? Nothing. I just came in to get warm.
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
You tell him to go right back home, and don't you leave the house either. Sam Wainwright promised to call you from New York tonight.
Your mother needn't worry. You know, I didn't come over here to...
Well, what did you come here for?
I don't know. You tell me. You're supposed to be the one that knows everything. Well, you tell me.
Why don't you just go home?
That's where I was going. I don't know why I came in here in the first place. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mary, the telephone. It's Sam.
I'll get it. Hello?
I forgot my hat.
Hee-haw. Hello, Sam. How are you?
Ah, great. Gee, it's good to hear your voice again.
Oh, well, that's very sweet of you, Sam. There's an old friend of yours here, George Bailey.
You mean old Mossback George?
Yes, old Mossback George.
Hee-haw, put him on.
Okay, hold on, I'll call him. George! George, Sam would like to speak with you.
Hello, Sam.
Well, George Baileyowski. Hey, a fine pal you are. What are you trying to do? Steal my girl?
Steal your girl? Well, nobody's trying to steal your girl. Here, you tell him. You tell him.
No, wait a minute. I want to talk to both of you. Tell Mary to get on the extension.
You take it. You tell him.
Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
Come here.
We can both hear you now, Sam. Go ahead.
George, you remember a few years ago how I told you my dad was going to find a way to make plastics out of soybeans?
Yeah, I remember, Sam.
Well, it's taking off. The money's about to start rolling in, George. I told you, it was the chance of a lifetime. Now, I may have a job for you, George. That is, if you're finally ready to give up on that broken down building and loan. Mary?
Yes, Sam, I'm here.
Would you tell that guy I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime? You hear? The chance of a lifetime.
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Now listen to me. I don't want any plastics, and I don't want any soybeans. I want to do what I want to do. Do you understand that? And Mary. Oh, Mary. Oh, Mary. Oh, Mary.
Jesus, Mary, Joseph.
Oh, looks like I better be going. But I'll call you tomorrow.
In front of your own mother.
Tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow.
He kissed me. George Bailey kissed me. And I kissed him too. It was so easy to do. It was so honest, so true. How I've waited for this moment with that man. I remember well the moment it began. I can see silly little me sitting at the soda fountain. You're the boy full of life and joy, telling me your highest hopes and dreams. And as you speak, the light inside me beams. Just one look and suddenly it seems that I can see my future in your eyes. Yes, I can see my future in your eyes. Soft moonlight, graduation night, singing harmony together. Who are we? Are we meant to be? Can you hear my heart begin to beat? I know it's more than chance that we should meet. When you look at me, I am complete. And I can see my future in your eyes. Yes, I can see my future in your eyes. Time could never weaken the passion that I feel. With every sunrise, it becomes more real. Distance cannot dampen my longing for your touch. Until tonight, I never knew how much. With one kiss, redefining bliss, every question has been answered. All things new, all because of you. This is more than magic, more than fate. When something's meant to be, it's never late. Fantasies come true, wonder away. And I can see my future in your eyes. Yes, I can see my future in your
I now pronounce you man and wife. George, you may kiss your bride.
Hey, George, where are you two going on your honeymoon?
Where are we going? Look at this, Ernie. There's the kitty. Come here. Mary, count it.
I feel like a bootlegger's wife. Look.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to shoot the works. A whole week in New York and a whole week in Bermuda.
Then what?
Well, and then what, honey?
Well, after that, who cares?
George, something's happened at the bank.
What?
I've never really seen one, but it's got all the earmarks of a run. Ernie, if you've got any money left, you better hurry.
Just a minute, Mary.
No, George, you gotta stop.
Mary, I'll be back in just a minute.
Wait, George.
Well, hello, everybody. Mrs. Thompson, how are you? Tom?
George? Can I talk to you, George?
Why didn't you call me?
I tried to. They said you were gone. This is a pickle, George. This is a real pickle.
All right, all right. Now, what happened? How did it start?
How does anything like this start? All I know is the bank called a loan in.
When?
About an hour ago. They said that About an hour ago, they took all our cash.
All of it?
All of it, every cent of it.
Holy mackerel.
If Potter called and he said that he's taken over the bank, he said that he's willing to guarantee our people. If we're to tell them to give them the shares and to take them to the bank, and he'll give them 50 cents on the dollar.
Oh, he never misses a trick, does he?
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna miss this one.
George, how was the wedding? Gosh, I wanted to go.
Oh, it was all right. Just remember, folks, this thing isn't as black as it appears. We've just talked to old man Potter, and he's guaranteed cash payments at the bank. And the bank's going to reopen next week.
Next week? But George, I've got my money here. Did he guarantee this place?
Oh, Tom, I didn't even ask him. We don't need Potter here.
Well, then I'll take mine now.
Well, no. You're thinking of this place all wrong, as if I had the money back in a safe. Your money's not here. Your money's in Joe's house, right next to yours, and in Miss Macklin's house, and in the Kennedy's house, and 100 others. Why, you're lending them the money to build, and they're going to pay you back as best they can. Now, what are you going to do? Foreclose on them?
I've got $242 in here, and $242 ain't going to break anybody.
All right, Tom. Here, you sign this, and you'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
Well, that's what you agreed on when you bought your shares.
Tom, did you get your money yet?
No.
Well, I did. See, old man Potter will pay 50 cents on the dollar for each share you got. See? Cash.
Well, what do you say?
Tom, you have to stick to your original agreement on this. Now give us 60 days.
All right, Randall.
Are you going to Potter?
It's better to get half than nothing.
Tom! Now, Randall, now wait a minute. I beg of you not to do this thing. If Potter gets hold of this building and loan, there'll never be another decent house built in this town. He's already got the banks, he's got the bus line, he's got the department stores, and now he's going after us. Why? Well, it's very simple, because he's cutting in on our business, because we're cutting in on his business, that's why. And because he wants to keep you paying his rents and living in his slums. Now, don't you understand what's happening here? Can't you see what's happening? Potter isn't selling, Potter is buying. And why? Because we're all panicky and he's not, that's why. Now, Potter's picking up some bargains, but we can get through this thing all right. We've got to stick together, though. We've had to have faith in each other. Don't you understand? Can't you see what's happening? I know that things look bad. I know that things look bleak. It's only temporary, just to give the bank 1 week. And don't go run to Potter because you're in a bind. Today he'll give you money, but from then on rob you blind. Don't you see, folks? That's why we've got to stick together. That's what we have to do. Just like we're sis and brother, that's how we'll make it through. We've got to stick together until we're stuck like glue. Have faith in one another, that's how our dreams come true. Now, Tom, you had a shack in that old Potter's field. You paid him all that high rent for such a lousy deal. Say, Ed, have you forgotten last year when things weren't great? You couldn't make your payments, but I let you make them late. Now, do you think Potter would have let you keep that house? Not on your life. That's why we've got to stick together. That's what we have to do. Just like we're sis and brother, that's how we'll make it through. We've got to stick together until we're stuck like glue. Have faith in one another, that's how our dreams come true.
But my husband hasn't worked in over a year and I need money.
How will I live until the bank opens? And I got dormer bills to pay. I need cash.
I can't feed my kids on faith.
But
how much do you need?
Mary, hey, I've got $2,000. Here's $2,000. Now this will tide us over until the bank reopens. All right, Tom. Now how much do you need?
$242.
Oh, now Tom, just enough to tide you over until the bank reopens.
I'll take $242.
All right. There you you go?
This will close my account.
No, your account's still here. That's a loan. All right, Ed. How much do you need?
I'll take 300.
Oh, now, yeah, just enough until the bank reopens. What do you need?
I suppose I'll take 20.
$20. Now you're talking fine. Thanks, Ed. All right, Mrs. Thompson, how much do you want?
But that's your own money, George.
Never mind about that. How much do you want?
Well, I suppose I can get by on $20.
$20.
And I'll sign.
You don't have to sign a thing. I know you'll pay me back when you can. That's all right. Okay, Mrs. Davis, how much do you need?
Well, could I have $17.50?
$17.50? Well, bless your heart. Of course you can have it.
We've got to stay together. That's what we have to do. Just like we're sister and brother. That's how we'll make it through. We've got to stick together until we're stuck like glue. Have faith in one another. That's how our dreams come true.
No man is an island in the ocean blue.
We've got to stick together.
Learn this simple lesson. You need me and I need you.
Need me and I need you. We've got to stick together. That's what we have to do. Just like we're sister and brother. That's how we'll make it through. We've got to stick together until we're stuck like glue. Have faith in one another. That's how our dreams. That's how our dreams. That's how our dreams come true. We've got to stick together.
They did it! George really is a hero to these people now.
I told you that you would like George Bailey.
Oh, yes, he's a fine fellow. And don't George and Mary make the perfect couple? But, Joseph, they gave up all their honeymoon money to save the building and loan. Do they ever get to go? What about all their plans?
Mary made arrangements for a wonderful honeymoon at the old Granville house.
The old Granville house? Were they through the rocks?
Right again, Clarence. You're catching on. Mary decorated the old place up like the Waldorf Astoria for their wedding night. They had a wonderful honeymoon right there in Bedford Falls.
What about their money? Did they ever get it back?
No, they didn't. But George and Mary went right on. They rolled up their sleeves, worked hard in Bedford Falls. Like his father, George helped folks all over town realize their dreams.
Mr. and Mrs. Martini, welcome home. She's all yours.
Mamma mia, you hear what he say? Me, Giuseppe Martini, I own my own house. No longer do we live like a pig in a potter's field. We now have our own home in Bailey Park. Bless you, George Bailey, for the chance you gave me to have my own place. You trusted this face. You are like a family. I call you Martini, my brother and my friend until I die. Oh, how I thank you. Oh, how I love you. I pray God bless you. My dream came true. A nice place to call my own. Bless you, George Bailey, for home, sweet home.
just a man and his wife. We had but one wish. Look now, we have this. You are a gift to us from heaven above. Thank you. Oh, how I love you. I pray God bless you. My dream came true. A nice place to call my own. Bless you, George Bailey, for a home sweet
Oh, how we thank you. Oh, how we love you. We pray God bless you. Our dream came true. A nice place to call our own. Bless you, George Bailey, for home, sweet home.
Where'd they go? Where'd they go? Forget it, we got the house. Forget it.
Look, Mr. Potter, it's no skin off my nose. I'm just your little rent collector. But you can't laugh off this Bailey Park thing anymore. Look at it. 6 years ago, half a dozen houses stuck here or there. Look at it now. Dozens of the prettiest little homes you ever saw, 90% of which are owned by suckers who used to pay rent to you. Your Potter's Field, my dear Mr. Employer, is becoming just that. And boy, are the local yokels making with the David and Goliath wisecracks.
They are they? Even though they know the Baileys haven't made a dime out of these properties?
You know very well why. The Baileys was all chumps. Each one of those houses is worth twice what it cost the building and loan to build. Now, if I were you, I'd...
You are not me. Besides, I know how to handle this problem. The Baileys have been a boil on my neck long enough.
Mr. Potter, Mr. Bailey's here to see you.
Fine. Send him right in.
It's like I say, no skin off of my nose. But one of these days, this bright young man is going to be asking him for a job.
George, come in. Have a seat. It's good of you to come so soon. I know you're busy. Sit down.
Well, I suppose I'll find out sooner or later, but just what did you want to see me about?
George, that's just what I like so much about you. George, I'm an old man, and most people hate me, but I don't like them much either, so that makes us even. George, you know just as well as I do that I run practically everything in this town but the Bailey Building and Loan. You know also that for a number of years I've been trying to get control of it, or kill it, but I've been unable to. You've been stopping me. In fact, you've beaten me, George, and as anyone in this county can tell you, that takes some doing. Take during the Depression, for instance. You and I were the only ones that kept our heads. You saved the building and loan, and I saved all the rest.
Well, most people say you stole all the rest.
The envious ones, George. The suckers. Now I've stated my side very frankly. Now let's take a look at your side. Look at your life. What have you got? Be honest, George, you don't have a lot. Broken down house, broken down car. Being so kind hasn't gotten you far. You may be good, you may be meek, but you can't survive on 40 a week. After the bills have all been paid, not much is left of what you have made. What if Mary has a baby? There goes any change you had. Listen now to my proposal and things won't look so bad. wants, anything at all. Nothing is too big and nothing is too small. Come and work for me, I can make you rich. After all these years, you might just find your niche. Just use your imagination. Anything you'd like to get? I will pay you $20,000 and I haven't finished yet. Oh, tell me what you want. Don't blink at the price. Take your wife to Paris. Buy her something nice. Nothing but the best. Wear the finest clothes. Play in New York City. Go to Broadway shows. You can enjoy every evening at expensive restaurants. You can write your ticket, George, if you just tell me what you want. What do you think? What do you say? Listen, my boy, it's your lucky day. Quick, close your eyes. What do you see? It can be yours if you will agree. No more the stress, no more the strain. The building and loan, no longer a pain. Everyone else left you behind. This is your chance to find peace of mind. I know you've had many wishes, and I'm sure you've dreamed some dreams. You can trust me with your future. I am a man of means. Tell me what you want. Let me make it clear, you can do a lot with 20 grand a year. If it's not enough, make it 25. The moment you have waited for has just arrived. I know you're not used to money, but living well is not a sin. Go ahead and drop your anchor, George, your ship has just come in. Tell me what you want. Go for something new. I have made my offer. Now it's up to you. I know that you're smart. If you want the moon, sign the dotted line and you will have it soon. Someday you might have a daughter. She could be a debutante. Do it for your family. Do it for yourself. But come on, George, and tell me what you want.
You're not talking to someone else around here, are you? You remember this is me. What about, George Bailey? What about the building and loan?
Confound it, man. Are you afraid of success? I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year starting today. Is it a deal or isn't it?
Well, I know I ought to jump at the chance, Mr. Potter, but I was wondering if it would be possible for you to give me 24 hours to think it over.
Sure. Why don't you go home and talk it over with your wife?
I'd like to do that.
Okay, George?
Well, okay, Mr. Potter. Oh, wait, no. But now, wait a minute here. I know right now I don't have to talk to anybody. And the answer is no. No, you sit around here and you spin your little webs and you think the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't, Mr. Potter. In the whole vast configuration of things, I'd say you were nothing but a scurvy little spider. And that goes for you, too.
You'll be sorry, George Bailey, you fool.
I know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, the next day, and the next year, and the year after that. I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet, and I'm going to see the world. And I'm going to build things. I'm going to build airfields. I'm going to build skyscrapers 100 stories high. I'm going to build a bridge a mile long. What is it you want, Mary? You want the moon? If you do, just say the word. I'll throw a lasso around and pull it down for you.
Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight? Can't you come out tonight? Can't you come out tonight?
Hi.
Hi.
Mary Hatch, why did you ever marry a guy like me?
To keep from becoming an old maid.
But you could have married Sam Wainwright or anybody else in town.
Well, I didn't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look like you.
You didn't even have the honeymoon I promised you. Your what?
My baby.
Mary? You mean, are you on the nest?
George Bailey, Lasso's stork.
Lasso a stork? I mean, well, what is it, a girl or a boy?
Well, George Bailey, how am I supposed to know?
Well, it's your baby.
George.
Mary, this is wonderful. I mean, we've got so much to do. I mean, this kid's going to be the greatest ever. And he's not going to have to grow up in this old, broken down excuse of a house.
George, don't say that. I love this old house. Don't you remember the night that we broke the windows here? Well, this is what I wished for.
Oh, don't settle for this, Mary. There's more out there for me, for us. This isn't all there is. I know it. I just know it.
George, this is all I've ever wanted. Besides, I don't need a lot of things to make me happy.
I know you don't need them, Mary, but you sure enough deserve them. Now, I know I can make that old building and loan profitable yet, and I'll make that $20,000 Potter was talking about seem like chicken feed. And we're going to have that new house for the kids and nice fancy new clothes and trips to Paris or to New York and to say, am I talking too much?
Yes. Why don't you just kiss me instead of trying to talk me to death?
Mary. Love you. I don't know how I got here. This wasn't in my dreams. There are no explanations for how perfect all this seems.
My